Starting out in filmmaking is hard. There's a lot to learn and it can be quite overwhelming when you start. So in today's video, I'm giving you 10 quick tips for beginner filmmakers. Tip number 1 is that gear doesn't matter. You can shoot on an expensive cinema camera and the image can still look rubbish, or you can shoot on an iPhone and the image can still look great. It's about how you use the equipment rather than what the equipment actually is. Tip number 2 is not to neglect sound. Sound is roughly 50%, if not more, of your video, and it's extremely important. Rather than muting all of the clips and throwing on a bit of background music, try using sound effects and music in your video to enhance it. Tip number 3 is to have a place to show off your work. Have a YouTube channel to upload your videos to, and have an Instagram account where people can find you. Also have a website where you can tell people about what you do. Remember to have a contact form on there. Tip number 4 is that you improve over time. Your first film will look rubbish, and that's just a fact. For example, look at mine.
How dare you disturb me!
Experience is the best way to learn, so make as many films as possible and you'll learn lots. Tip number 5 is that story is king. Make films about what you're genuinely interested in, rather than what you would think other people would like to see. An example of this is that somebody made a film about what they thought other people would be interested in, and it did really badly. And then they made a film about a topic that they were very passionate about, and that just so happened to be a film called Breaking Bad. Tip number 6 is to work with other people. Make films with your friends, collaborate with other people, and find people with similar interests that you think would like to make a film with you. Tip number 7 is to keep your films short. Audiences get bored very quickly, so it's important that you keep their attention span. Look for ways to cut down the edit as much as possible, and remember that some segments can also be longer if it's important to the story. Tip number 8 is to work on stabilisation. You don't need an expensive gimbal to get really stable shots. Instead, you can use a camera strap just like this and it will look great. I remember that some of my earliest videos were very shaky, so when I started using a tripod and using the strap method, I think it worked really well. Tip number 9 is to learn from the internet. You don't need to go to some big fancy film school. Instead, learn from YouTube. Some great YouTube channels that I recommend are Film Riot, DSLR Guide, Danny Givertz, Mark Bone, and The Wandering TP. Tip number 10 is to have fun. Filmmaking is something that's meant to be enjoyable. Whilst it's not always fun, and is often packed with stress, at the end of the day, you won't regret it. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing, follow my socials, subscribe to the newsletter, join the Discord, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.